สวัสดีค่ะ
ครับ
โอเค รอเพื่อนก่อนเนาะ
ทิเชอร์
open your camera ด้วยนะ
Good morning, students.
Good morning, teacher. Good morning.
How are you guys today?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
All right, who sound like a sleepy and lazy?
Sunday.
All right. Okay. All right, students, you having your books already with you? Science. We are going to learn today moment of light through different media. You having your books already with you?
Yes.
Okay, wait for a while for your friends join so we can start. So today we are going to learn page number 92. Are you ready, students?
Yeah.
All right, so let's start. All right. Page number 92. All right, so today topic is the moment of light through different media. In our last week, we already learned about different medias, right? So today we are going to learn a bit more in deep, okay? Page number 92. Okay, so here, first of all, reflection, okay? So reflection happens when light touches an object or a material and some light is returned from the object, okay? Reflection is actually when the light actually it touch any object or any material and some of the light actually it returned from the object while the light strike on the object or material and then return back, okay? So that means reflection, okay? So here you can see here in the picture, you can see the scenery here, right? So when the light strike on that, so we can see here, like light hits the water and some of it bounce back, like you can see here, above this line, you can see here the scenery, right? And here you can see the water. So when the light hits the water, and some of it bounces back, so we can see the similar scenery here in the water. This is what actually the reflection, okay? It's the reflection of light. Or here you can see in the second photo, you can see here a boy, like when they open the torch, okay? So the torch, the light, it come out of the torch, right? And when it hit the wall, so it returned back. Here you can see the light, it comes to the wall, right? And from here with the same angle, it returned back, okay? So this is what actually we call reflection, okay? So It's very simple. Reflection happens when light touches an object or a material and some light is returned from the object. Okay. Now here in the second photo, as you can see here, when light touches light from a flashlight, you can see here a boy, he's holding a flashlight, okay, and it releases the light, so it reflect from the point here, reflect from the wall, okay, and hits into your eyes. You can see here with the same angle, it came back, it reflects back. So this is what the light comes out of the flash, right, and hitting the wall and then return back, bound back, okay. So this is what is reflection. So we will see the light on the wall, okay. Now you can see here in the third photo, you can see here a boy, he's holding a flashlight, okay, and another boy, he's holding a mirror. All right. So what happened here, the light will come out of the torch, it come out of the flashlight and hit the mirror, right? So it reflect back towards the wall. So the reflection actually, it happened in the angle, right? From which angle you the flashlight coming out, so it gonna return on the same angle. So when light from a flashlight hit a mirror, the light will reflect onto a wall. You can see here the angle, it will reflect towards the wall, okay, and hit our eyes so we can see the light on the wall. Okay, students, you understand that? What is mean by the reflection? Reflection of light? Students, do you understand reflection of light? It's very simple. It's very easy. Like you can see here, when the light, the example is here, when the light from the flashlight, it releases from here. So when they hit the wall, so with the same angle after hitting the wall, it returns towards our eyes. Okay, so we can see the light on the wall. In another example, if, for example, you are holding a mirror, right, and the flashlight is pointed toward the mirror, right? So when it hit the mirror, the light, it reflects towards the wall. So when it reflects toward the wall, we can see the light on the wall, okay? So this is a simple experiment you can do by yourself as well. If you're having a flashlight, okay, you just hold it towards a mirror, right? So the mirror, when the light strike on the mirror, it will reflect back toward another angle. All right. Okay, students. Now, here you can see a bit more detail. All right. So the light actually, when the light reflect, it's also depend on the surface. Okay. So different objects, they're having different reflection. Okay. So here you can see if light hits a smooth opaque object such as mirror, we will see an orderly reflection ray. So we will be able to see the reflection on the mirror too. Like you can see here in this photo. So this surface here, the mirror. So mirror, it's a smooth surface. Okay, it's a smooth surface. So you can see here, when the flashlight hit the mirror, so it will reflect in the same direction. You can see here, all of the lines, they reflect in the same direction, okay? Why is it like that? So mirror is actually opaque object. We already learned in the last week about transparent object, translucent object, and opaque object. So mirror is an opaque object, okay? So when the light releases from the light source, right, and it hit the smooth surface, which is plane, which is smooth, okay? So it will reflect in the same angle, straight, you can see here. But here on the other side, you can see here the surface is not smooth. You can see here the surface is rough. Okay, so if the light, if the light releases from the light source and it hit the rough surface, so what will happen? We can see here the reflection, it's not in the same manner. It's go here and there. Why? Because of the surface. Okay, so reflection of light when touches a rough opaque rough surface like a opaque object, so it will be reflection will be not in the same manner. It will be in the different manner. Okay, students, you understand that? Number one here, when the light, you can see here, when the light, actually, if the light hits a smooth surface, of opaque object, so mirror, for example, mirror is an opaque object, will actually not absorb the light, it reflect. Okay, it always reflect. So if it is smooth surface, so we will see an early reflection ray. We will be able to see the reflection on the mirror too, and the reflection will be in the same angle. You can see here in the picture, the light, it come hitting the opaque object, smooth opaque object, and it will reflect in the same line. But on the other side, you can see here, another opaque object, the surface is actually not smooth. Okay, you can see here there are ups and downs, so it's not smooth. So what we see here, the rays when actually reflect back, it's not in the same manner. It actually go here and there. So what we learn from here, if the light touches a rough opaque object, we will see a disorderly reflection ray. We will not able to see a reflection on rough objects. Okay, students, you understand that? What will happen to the light if it touches a smooth surface and a rough surface?
Yeah.
Any question? Anything you not understand?
No.
All right, later on, we're gonna have some of the questions as well. Okay. All right, so now let's move toward an experiment. Okay, so here we are going to have experiment. All right, so this experiment is to understand the light reflect at the same angle. Okay, when the light hit the mirror, or here we are going to use a mirror, okay, an opaque object, to understand that when the light hit the smooth opaque object, so it will reflect in the same angle. Okay, so for this experiment, what do we require? First of all, we have to, what are the learning objects? So the learning object here we have, number one, experiment and draw a conclusion about reflection. So this experiment is for reflection, to understand the reflection. All right, second objective we have, explain the reflection of light when it hits an object. Okay, so here we are going to understand, number one, to understand the reflection. Okay, number two, the reflection of light when it hit an object. When the light releases and it hit any object, what happened? So this is what we are going to conclude. So what are the instructions here? Instructions are follow. Here we having, these are the instructions here. Read and follow the instruction, then record your findings and answer the questions. Okay. Now for this experiment, we required some of the material. So what kind of material we required? Number one, we required a flashlight. Okay, so flashlight we required. Number two, we required one white paper. Okay, so one white paper we required. Number three, we required a cardboard. Okay, so one cardboard is also required. And fourth, we required one mirror. Okay, so four material we required. We required a flashlight, a cardboard, right, a mirror, and a white paper. Okay, these are the four materials we required. So now what are the direction we have to follow? So number one, place the mirror upright on the paper. Okay, so here we having the paper, you can see here, right? And we're gonna place a mirror. So here, this is a mirror. Okay, so the mirror is placed on a upright on the paper. Okay, now number two, cut cardboard and stick it on the flashlight. Okay, so a cardboard, we are going to stick it on the flashlight. It on the flashlight is shown in the picture. Here you can see the flashlight, it actually is stick with the cardboard. All right, now number three, what we have to do, point the flashlight at the mirror. As you can see here, the mirror is, here is the mirror. Okay, so here you can see the flashlight, it's point toward the mirror. Okay, now draw the reflection line that hit the mirror and the light that reflect on the paper. Okay, so here you can see, students, we already place a flashlight. Okay, and open up the light. Now what we have to do, here we can see we have to draw, look at the reflection, like the light come out of the flashlight. So we have to draw a line, and then we have to draw a line toward the reflection, like the light when they hit the mirror. So after hitting the mirror, it reflects from the mirror. So in which angle it reflects, we have to draw that. Okay, so this is the third instruction. Now, what we have to do, draw a line that is perpendicular to the mirror on the position that light reflect on the paper, which is called a normal light. Okay, so here we have to both sides. Here you can see we just make a line right in the center here. Okay, so from one side the flashlight is released, and on the other side the line we draw already here, that the light after reflecting the mirror, it in which angle actually it goes. So we draw the line here. All right, now number five, what we have to do, we have to measure the normal line and the ray that shines from the flash to mirror. So that one is, here we already have one line. Okay, and the line, the incidence angle, the light which come out of the flashlight, this is, we call that incidence angle. Okay, so we draw a line on that. All right, after that, in the corner between the normal line and the ray that shines from the mirror, reflection angle, record the data. So we already have the line here right in the center, and the light which released from the incidence angle, that means the light released from the flashlight, and the light after hitting the mirror, it reflect. Okay, so both we have to record with which angle the light release and with which angle the light reflects. So both we have to record the data. Okay, students, now what we have to do more, we have to repeat the same experiment. Okay, so repeat the experiment by changing the corner of the ray that shines from the flashlight to the mirror and the normal line, that means incident angle. Okay, so we one time already collect the data. Now we're gonna move the flashlight a bit from that angle. We're gonna move, for example, here. All right, or for example there. So we're gonna repeat the same thing. Open the light, they're gonna hit the mirror, and then we record at which angle the light reflect. So we have two records, one with this point, second one with by changing the place. Okay, so both points we are going to record with which angle the light, the incidence angle and the reflect angle, what are the angles. So this is what we have to do. All right, students, you understand that how we have to do this experiment?
Yeah.
It's very simple. Okay, For example, you take a smooth surface, all right, and at the end you put the mirror, all right, and then you having a flashlight at one angle, and we open the flash. So the light, when they strike, okay, we're going to record at which angle is that, and then we will draw a line at the reflect angle. So both we have to repeat 2 times with 2 different positions. And now we are going to record the data. Okay, now let's see the record. What do we conclude here? All right, so here we're having some of the pre-activity questions. Okay, so what is the light? What is the light source in the experiment? Okay, what was the light source? Students, what was the light source we use in this experiment? Is it a flashlight or mirror?
Flashlight.
Exactly, flashlight. Flashlight, it was the source of light which we use in this experiment. Now, question number 2. Is the light source in the experiment natural or man-made? What kind of light source this was? It was natural or man-made?
Man-made.
Exactly, man-made, because torch, it's actually a man-made resource of light, okay, not a natural resource. Very good. Okay, now here the experiment we already do with 2 different points, okay. So the size of the incident angle and the reflection angle, all right. So the first time the experiment, what we do here, the incidence angle, like from the flashlight, when the light was releasing, it was 45 degrees. So what will be the reflection angle? Anyone can answer? The first time we put the flashlight, so the flashlight, it was the incident angle, it was at 45 degrees. So when the light hit the opaque object, the mirror, and it reflect, so what will be the reflection angle? Students, can you answer me?
I think it's incident angle.
The incidence angle is 45. So what will be the angle of reflection after hitting the mirror? It will be
Reflection angle.
It will be the same, 45. Like incidence angle, the light comes out of the flash, it hit after hitting the mirror, it will reflect back in 45 degree, the same angle. Okay, by the second time, when we move the place, okay, when we move the place of the light, the incidence angle, for example, it was 70 degree. So what will be the reflection angle on the 70 degree?
70.
Exactly, it will be 70 degree. Both of them, both of the time, the incidence angle and the reflection angle, they will be the same after hitting an opaque object, which was a mirror. Okay, very good. All right, now we have some of the more questions. What happened when we point the flashlight at the mirror? So we have 1, the light reflected from the mirror. 2, the light passed through the mirror. Let me ask from one student, okay? Just a moment. Matum, what will happen? What happened when we pointed the flashlight at the mirror? The light reflected from the mirror or the light passed through the mirror?
I think the light passed through the mirror.
Are you sure?
Not.
You're not sure? Okay, let me ask from another student. All right. Panton, what happened when we pointed the flashlight at the mirror? The light reflected from the mirror or the light passed through the mirror?
And the light reflects from the mirror.
A bit louder, I can't hear you. Panton, a bit louder, speak a little bit louder.
I answer the light reflects from the mirror.
I still can't understand. Can you repeat one more time?
Light reflects from the mirror.
Very good. The light reflected from the mirror. That is the correct answer. Because the mirror, it is an opaque object. So the light, when hit the mirror, it reflects, it bounces back. Okay, question number 2. Was there a difference between the light from the flashlight and the angles to the normal line, incidence angle and reflection? 1, yes, because the incidence angle was wider than the reflection angle. No, because the incidence angle was equal to the reflection. All right, who is going to answer? One, can you answer? What is your answer? Question number 2, was there a difference between the light from the flash?
Yes, we had the incident angle was wider than the reflection angle.
No, because the incidence angle was equal to the reflection angle. We already learned in the last activity that the light, actually the incidence angle, it releases at the 45 degree, and the reflect angle, it was also in the same. So no, because the incidence angle was equal to the reflection angle. Both were same. The release, the incidence angle, and the reflection, both were same. Okay, question number 3. What is your conclusion for this study? The incidence angle is equal to the reflection angle, or the incidence angle is not equal to the reflection angle? Let me ask from Adin.
The incident angle is equal to the reflection.
That's the correct answer. Right. The incidence angle is equal to the reflection angle. That is the correct answer. Okay, so what do we learn here, students? Number 1, the light reflected from the mirror in the same angle. That means the incidence angle is equal to the reflection angle. Both times we change the place of the light source. Okay, so in both times they were equal. The incidence angle and reflection angle, they were both equal. Okay, all right, here, so we have now here are the reflection rules. What are the reflection rules? So when light hits a reflective surface, so when light hits a reflective surface which is straight or curved and smooth or rough. So the reflection will follow two rules. Okay. So for example, if the surface of the object, it is like a smooth or it is rough. Okay. So the reflection will be always follow two rules. All right. Number one. So the incidence ray, the reflect ray, and the normal line are on the same plane. Okay, so both were on the same plane. Now, number two, the incidence angle is equal to the reflection angle of the light incidence area. So that one is normal line is perpendicular to the object on the position that the ray shines. So here, what we learn here, the incidence ray and the reflection ray are the normal line or on the same plane. So the incidence angle is equal to the reflection angle at the light incidence. Okay, students, that is the conclusion of that. Incidence angle is equal to the reflection angle. All right. Now, normal line is perpendicular to the object on the position that the ray shines. All right. So we see objects because, how do we see object? We see object because light reflects off them. Light reflected by a mirror is the same way as the original object, but flipped from right to left. Okay, so that's all the conclusion. You can see here. Here, this is the incidence ray. Okay, the flashlight, the object what we use. And this one is the reflection ray. Okay, after hitting a surface and it reflects. So we learn here the same angle, the angle, the light coming from the object. Okay, the source. After hitting the surface, it's gonna reflect in the same way. So this is actually the incidence ray. So incidence ray that shines from the light of the object. Okay, and this one here on the right side, this is reflection ray. So reflection ray is the ray that reflect from object. Here the incidence ray coming from the light source, and here the reflection ray after hitting the object. This is the reflection. Okay, so incidence angle is the angle of the ray that shines from the incidence ray to the normal. So here we can see here, this is the angle, this is the normal right center here, 90 degree, right in the center, and it's the angle created on that. So we can see here both the incidence ray and the reflection, the incidence angle and reflection angle, both are same. So reflection angle is the angle of the ray that shines from reflection ray to the normal. Okay, students, you understand that? Any question? Students, do you got any questions?
No.
All right. So the same practice you can do by yourself. If you having a torch with you in your life in your home, so the same experiment you can do by yourself as well. So you will understand the reflection. Okay. All right. So now here we have. Okay. So here we have one more experiment. Okay. So what do these sentences say? Hold to given sentence in front of a mirror. Observe the change and write the message that you see in the box provided. Okay, you can see here. You can see here a boy. He writes something. He writes something on the paper. And while he take the paper and look at the mirror. So this is how they see. They can't read it. Here you can see. Okay, let me ask from you. All right. Students, what do you see here?
I see the science.
Science. That's very good. Okay. So do you see here in the right or you see it upside down?
Not upside down.
You can see here the reflection is actually not the same, right? So exactly the same you can see here in the picture. Okay, so a boy, he's writing, but while he looking to the mirror, okay, so the reflection, it's this is what he's writing here. Okay, so what this is what actually about the reflection, right? So while we write something, we hold to the opaque object, so exactly we see in the same angle. Science, right?
My God.
Okay, all right, so what you see here, what they write down on the paper?
I think meeting is light travel in a straight and lens.
Line. Oh, very good. That's very clever. Light travel in a straight line. Okay, what do you see here in the second paragraph? It's about our conclusion in of experiment. Okay, THE, the. Okay, carry on. Incidents.
Incident.
Okay,
I
carry
think
on.
the incident is
Incidence angle.
accident angle is except of the TC tone
reflection angle. This is what we see here. Okay. The incidence angle is equal to the reflection angle. This is what we conclude from here. Okay. Light travel in a straight line and the incidence angle is equal to the reflection angle. Okay, students. So this is all for today in our science class. Any question? Anything you not understand, students?
No.
All right. So see you again. Take a rest. See you in the upcoming class. Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you again. See you again.